Alright, so it's decided. This year's Halloween shall be a Movies United special, while this year's Christmas special shall be handled by Sodor's Dinosaurs.
Oh yes, finally. I'm so glad you see the light that the superior show...
Shut up before we change our minds.
Yes, sir.
I would prefer an actual episode of Movies United from the show, like he said he would this year, but I guess sometimes things don't go according to plan.
Why are you concerned? You're not even in the show.
My gosh, shut up! But anyway, it's gonna be a while before this episode is actually ready for October 31st. Got any idea for filler episodes to fill in the extra space? The channel's been uploading a lot of Jua videos lately, and honestly, we could use a break from that.
Well, if you really want me to come up with something...
Not so fast, Thomas, that won't be necessary.
Dang it.
Oh, is the next episode of Dino Duels ready? Nope. But we do have another episode of Rampant Repaints ready. For it's finally time to paint that behemoth into something special.
Didn't you already do a Triceratops repaint?
So, is there gonna be 2 chomps? Nope. This here is the opposite of chomp. Roll footage!
I'm gonna be turning one of my Habitat Defender Triceratopses into Maximus from Dinosaur King. Without armor, unfortunately. But still! People love my Dinosaur King repaints, so it seems only fair that I do the Space Pirates signature dinosaurs next. I know I haven't finished the Alpha Gang yet, but still waiting for that Hammond Collection Spino to be announced, and to actually get my hands on it before I start painting my own. And Cychania does not exist in Mattel yet. Yet, I say. They love doing obscure species. It's only a matter of time before Cychania comes out. I actually teased this repaint idea in another video, and for some reason, not many people actually got that it was going to be the Space Pirates dinosaurs. So, yeah, that's it. Let's just turn this thing into Maximus. First things first, we had to lather this bad boy up with black licorice. Now, Maximus is technically a dark gray rather than a black, but I always find it's best to, depending on how light or dark the figure or the paint job is supposed to be, it's best to splash on the base coat. Starting darker colors, usually best to just paint it black, and then paint on gray afterwards. Or in this case, thinking that it would still look nice with the black, I decided to just dry brush all of the dark gray. Although it didn't look as, it did turn out good, but the black was still pretty prominent, so, or at least it started out nice, but then over time it started to blend in with the black up to the point where you could barely tell it was gray at all. And then I didn't think much of it at the time, so I just started like painting other spots, like painting the horns gray as well, with the same gray that I dry brushed with, as well as the osteoderms, the beak, and his toes. Although I figured out I probably should have saved those osteoderms for later, because when I started painting the orange onto the figure, I realized that I would have to paint over the osteoderms, so wasting all of that paint on them was just, it's just wasted. I could have saved it until after I put on the orange first. But the orange was still way too dark for Maximus, so I had to mix orange with yellow to get a much lighter shade. Now I mixed a lot of this shade of orange, and at the time it was a lot darker. I thought it looked nice. But I'll talk more about that later. Once I had painted all of the orange spots where it needs to be orange, I started adding a white stripe. I tried to make it as thin as possible, but again, it turned out pretty thick. Although it's not actually white, it's more of a very light gray. Additionally, I used this same light gray to start dry brushing in certain areas to help make it look a little more like Maximus. Once I was satisfied, I repainted the osteoderms, painted the eye red, painted the inside of the mouth purple, and then wrapped it all up with the gloss, the stuff, the sealer. And boom, Maximus is complete. Sort of. Let me explain. Maximus is actually the same orange as Chomp. This Chomp is actually a bit lighter, I think. But honestly, you can tell it's still Chomp, whereas like it's dark at the top and light at the bottom. Maximus is also supposed to have this lighter color of orange. This orange would actually be more fitting for the Triceratops repaint, which the leftover orange I had from this repaint, I just started using on the Pentaceratops, so I can officially say I actually got started on old Pratt here. He's probably gonna look like this for a while, though. My main mistake was mixing yellow into orange when I should have mixed orange into yellow. There is a difference, trust me. Like Chomp, what I did was like I splattered a bunch of yellow, mixed in just a little bit of orange to darken that yellow. That was how I got this color. This one, I splattered a bunch of orange and then gave like a bunch of yellow and it still looked orange. That was a mistake. So I just seem to have a problem when it comes to orange. It was the same thing with Grim. Like Grim is just also the wrong shade of like, technically Grim isn't orange to begin with. So yeah, orange is my Achilles heel. The only time I got it right was on Chomp. But that's not the only mistake. As you can see, it's much too black. Maximus is more of a dark gray with a few lighter grays in certain areas. I only did the light gray up the top here, which actually looks really nice. So what I should have done was do that just all over the place. Even more dry brushing of the light gray all over Maximus everywhere, and that would have made it a lot better, because right now this doesn't look like Maximus. It looks like the black Triceratops, the black T-Rex as a Triceratops, which still cool, but not Maximus. And one more error, this one's just for me though. Just if you can look at the eye, I kind of messed up. I got impatient and applied the gloss. Why does it not focus? The eye was impatient, the pupil was not done drying. So when I splattered on the gloss coat, it sort of made the dark pupil spread a bit. So it's not as noticeable on camera, but for me, if I just look at it face first, I can notice it. It's a bummer for me. The pattern is also not accurate to Maximus. Like, it's as Maximus as I could get, judging from the low resolution images I could find. But you know what? For what it is, I'm happy with the way this one turned out. Pattern-wise, not exactly color-wise. Other than that, I really like the way this repaint turned out. Again, I'm gonna recolor with those suggestions I just made to myself. But other than that, I'm quite happy. I like the gray osteoderms. I like just the overall color scheme, honestly. And the horns, I guess they could be darker because Maximus has some really dark horns. But I'm happy with the way they are. I also especially like the purple mouth, because that's an interesting thing about Maximus, is that he has a purple mouth. Oh, but then I'm technically still not done with this repaint. Maximus, of course, is a member of the Space Pirates, so I need to add that Space Pirate logo to his forehead and his shoulders here. And of course, eventually, one day, I will give him armor. Maybe after I'm done with all of the Space Pirates and this guy is just in the right colors. Until then, this is my Maximus. Very happy with the way he turned out. And I especially like that he is just a lot bigger than Chomp. Because Maximus is technically supposed to be... that's the thing about Maximus. That's why I want to make sure the colors match. Because Maximus is technically just an evil Chomp, which is very cool. But that is where I'm going to end this Rampant repaint video. The next one is, well, I've already started, so I might as well finish off Pratt. Probably. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to see comments asking, how's the Pentaceratops repaint going? Because there's a good chance I might not do it yet. I don't know. I can't read the future. Mostly you have to focus on, as that little skit suggested, that little Halloween video. I have like about 2 weeks to get it done. By the time I'm recording this part right now, I have 2 weeks to film, like, just animate a certain rig, the character necessary for this episode, and then animate the actual story. And also make sure I actually have a story. Anyway, Maximus is done, but which space pirate do you want me to do next? Do you want me to do Armadas, or do you want me to do, if I can just get him in here, oh my gosh. Do you want me to do Gygus instead? Honestly, I would prefer if I just saved Gygus for last, because that's the one everyone wants to see. So, even if all the comments say, we want Gygus, I'm probably going to do Armadas first, because, save the best for last. But that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next Rampant Repaints. Goodbye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning to end. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel and join the Zainreborn community. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.